Flames consumed his flesh, but his scream cut through the fire. A curse that would echo beyond death.
You will burn with me. All of you.
He jolted awake, gasping, his hand clutching his chest where the flames had seared him just moments ago. The cold stone cell, the barred window, this was his prison, the morning before his execution.
I remember. The pain, the crowd, the priest's smug face. I died, so how am I here?
On the wall, a faint rune he'd scratched as a boy. Now it pulsed violet. His manacles clicked open. He slipped into the torchlit corridor, keeping to the shadows. The guards hadn't noticed his empty cell yet. Outside, the cold rain soaked his robe. He pressed his back against the alley wall, catching his breath. The graveyard on the hill was his only sanctuary now. The church would never search for a necromancer among the dead. Dawn was still hours away. He would not run. He would carve a new path, even if it led through the dead. The iron cemetery gate groaned open. As Yusei stepped inside, blue runes shimmered beneath the mist. He could feel them, not as corpses, but as echoes pressing against the veil.
I didn't come to rob graves. If you can hear me, show yourselves.
The ground fractured. 3 pillars of spectral fire erupted, and 3 legendary figures took form.
A necromancer. Have you come to desecrate our rest? Speak quickly, or we'll deliver you to the grave.
Stay back, defiler. One more step, and this arrow will pierce your heart.
The boy reeks of the church's pyre. What trick is this?
I am no defiler. The church burned me at the stake. I need your strength to make them pay.
The 3 closed in, ghostly weapons raised. Aldrich's greatsword blazed inches from Yusei's throat.
You dare invoke our names for vengeance? Prove your truth, or this sword ends your second life now.
Look at these scars. The church's pyre branded me. I died screaming their name.
You carry the marks of holy fire. That cannot be faked.
If the church burned you, why seek out the dead? Revenge?
Revenge? Number. I want to tear down the lies that killed me. They fear necromancy because it threatens their power.
The church we served is not the same one that lit your pyre. But if they now hunt necromancers, perhaps our pacts were long broken.
The ghost of a memory flickered between them. An ancient blood oath, sworn by heroes and priests, now shattered.
Our souls cannot find peace because the church that swore to honor our sacrifice now persecutes our very essence.
Help me expose them. With you, the truth will be unstoppable. The kingdom will see what they've hidden.
The 3 spirits exchanged a long, silent look. Then Orin's voice cut through the mist.
And what do you offer in return, necromancer? Your life, your soul.
I offer my life as your anchor. Take what you need to walk beyond this graveyard.
Then be our vessel. But know this, the binding will feel like dying a second time.
Yusei knelt before the 12 tombs. Violet flames erupted from his chest, reaching for the spirits like hungry serpents. One by one, all 12 legendary figures emerged from the graves, their ghostly forms encircling him. The flames burrowed into his soul. His body convulsed, as if the pyre had returned in full force. A scream that was not his own tore from his throat, and the pact was sealed in blood and fire. When it ended, Yusei struggled to his feet, 12 voices now whispering inside his skull.
The necromancer. His cell is empty. Sound the alarm.
Torches flared across the church grounds. Heavy boots thundered toward the cemetery. Yusei emerged from the gates, ghostly light trailing behind him. The hunt had begun. The spirits cloaked him in shadows, guiding him through twisting alleys as guards thundered past.
12 souls. Too heavy. My veins are burning.
His knees buckled. He collapsed behind a stack of crates, the spirits flickering in agitation.
The lad is spent. If we stay, we all fade. We must leave him.
He gave us his life. I will not abandon him to the church's hounds.
A young priest in brown robes turned the corner, freezing at the sight of the ghostly forms.
Heroes, the cursed necromancer.
I should call the guards. But why do they protect him? The texts say the heroes were pure. If they shield him, something is terribly wrong.
He dragged Yusei into a nearby cellar, sealing the door as boots echoed above.
Why? Help me. You are one of them. The church I swore to serve took innocent families from the slums. They'll execute them if anyone aids you. Hostages. Because of me. How many? Dozens. They're held in the temple crypt. I can't stand by while children suffer.
The spirits flickered into view. Aldrich's voice was a sword in the dark.
Strike the high priest at dawn. When he falls, his orders mean nothing. The hostages will be freed.
There's a crypt passage beneath the temple. Tobias can guide us. We'll surface right under the altar.
If I wait, innocents die. If I attack, I might fail. But hiding isn't living. Then we go before sunrise. Show me the crypt entrance. I'll tear that temple open from below.
Outside, the footfalls of patrolling guards faded. Dawn was barely 2 hours away. Beneath the temple, the crypt waited. Cold stone and old bones, but also a path to the high priest's throne. The crypt swallowed them in shadow. Yusei's violet flame cast trembling light on ancient bones lining the walls. Tobias gripped his shoulder. Golden wards ignited without warning. A searing wall of holy fire slammed into Yusei, driving him to one knee.
The wards, they'll burn through the pact. I can't.
We are with you, all 12 of us. Hold fast, boy.
Ilara's arrow shattered the next rune. Orin's staff wove a counterspell, and the wards dimmed just enough. Muffled voices filtered from above. 2 guards patrolling the nave. The high priest locked himself in the ossuary again. 3 days now. No food, no water.
The ossuary. That's the sealed chamber beneath the altar. No one is allowed inside, not even the archpriests.
The final staircase rose before them. Yusei's legs trembled, but Tobias steadied him. The altar trapdoor was within arm's reach.
Dawn is close. I can feel the sun through the stone. Just a little more.
Yusei eased the trapdoor open a sliver. Below, the ossuary was lit by a sickly green flame that clung to old bones. Archpriest Valdemar stood over a corpse, his hands wreathed in necromantic energy. The dead priest's eyes snapped open.
Rise, fallen brother. Tell me, who aided the Necromancer's escape? Speak.
He's raising the dead. The high priest himself is a necromancer.
My body fails. I need more pure souls to sustain my immortality. The hostages will suffice.
This is the forbidden art of lichdom. He betrayed the pact to cheat death. He must be stopped.
As Valdemar drained the corpse, the holy illusion on his face flickered, revealing the withered bone beneath.
Not just corruption. He is undead. An immortal lich hiding behind holy robes. My faith, it was all a lie. The scriptures, the vows, everything.
From above, the temple bells began to toll. The congregation would soon fill the nave. Yusei pushed open the trapdoor. He and Tobias rose behind the altar as the morning hymn echoed through the nave.
Stop your prayers. I am the necromancer you burned at the stake, and I've brought witnesses from your graves.
Blasphemer! Guards, how dare you defile this holy rite?
Then look upon the truth your high priest has buried. Rise, heroes of the old pact.
12 pillars of spectral light burst from the floor. The legendary spirits stepped forth, weapons blazing.
We swore to protect this kingdom, and your high priest has made a mockery of our sacrifice.
The church we built with our blood now hunts necromancers to hide its own corruption. We will not rest.
Behold, the ancient pact shattered. Your high priest practices the very necromancy he condemns. We demand justice.
The nave erupted. Priests screamed, some clawing at their robes, others falling to their knees. The side door slammed open. Archpriest Valdemar strode in, his staff cracking the marble floor.
Silence. These are demonic illusions sent to poison your minds. The necromancer seeks to destroy the holy church.
Illusions? Then explain the crypt below your altar. Show them, Magus, Orin.
Witness the truth, priests of the Covenant. See your shepherd's foul ritual beneath this very floor.
The spectral image bloomed above the altar. Valdemar draining a corpse, the green fire, his rasping voice about immortality. Valdemar raised his staff to smite the image, but the holy light sputtered and died. His faith in his own righteousness had shattered. A crack lanced across the holy symbol on his chest. The golden mask of his face peeled away, revealing withered bone and glowing green eyes.
The High Priest. He's a lich. We've been serving an undead monster.
Everything the scriptures warned of was standing at our altar. Forgive us.
You think this changes anything? I am still the most powerful being in this kingdom.
The lich power still crackled like a storm. One wrong move, and the temple would become a tomb. With a guttural laugh, Valdemar raised a black crystal. Green tendrils shot downward, piercing the floor toward the crypt where the hostages huddled.
If I am to fall, they will empty first. Their souls will fuel my rebirth. None of you can stop it.
Yusei looked from the lich to the crypt. He could not fight and counter ritual at once.
Go, Yusei, save the innocents. We will hold the abomination.
Our spirits are not yet broken. Go, and do not look back.
We were heroes once. Let us prove it again. Run, and let nothing stop you.
Yusei turned and sprinted toward the crypt stairs, Tobias at his heels. The wails of children spurred him on. The temple shook as the heroes threw themselves at Valdemar, buying precious seconds. Sir Aldrich bellowed a war cry and hurled himself at the abomination. Ilara's arrow blazed with righteous fury as she loosed another volley. The crypt chamber reeked of damp stone and raw terror. Men, women, children, chained to pulsing black crystals, green threads leeching their light.
They're already siphoning their spirits. I have to reverse the flow. Now, before they're empty.
Violet fire exploded from his palms, latching onto the green tendrils. The counter-ritual ignited, but the drain reversed course, drinking from Yusei instead.
My life, pouring out, but the children first. I won't release until everyone is free.
His hair turned white in seconds. Skin sagged like old linen. Tobias screamed his name.
Stop. Yusei, you are aging decades. In moments, you'll die. Cut the chains. I'll hold the link. Do it.
The last green thread snapped. A toddler tumbled into her mother's arms, wailing. Yusei's bones gave out. He fell as a wizened elder, skin like papyrus, violet eyes barely flickering, but 37 hostages breathed.
Stay with me, please. Oh gods, what have I agreed to? Forgive me.
In the temple, the 12 spirits felt their anchor flicker. Aldrich's form blazed with new fury. Valdemar recoiled as the ghostly weapons struck harder, each blow fueled by a boy's sacrifice.
Mother, I can't end here. Not while that monster still stands.
The small skull token pulsed against his chest, and a soft voice whispered, "The dead do not abandon their own."
Then I'll take back what he stole.
He forced his withered hand to the black crystal, now dark. The necromantic bond with Valdemar's ritual became a siphon in reverse. The life he'd poured into the hostages rushed back. Gray hair darkened, skin tightened, violet eyes ignited. Yusei rose, no longer a frail elder, but a young man burning with stolen flame.
I am not done. Tobias, lead the hostages out. I'll end this.
He sprinted up the crypt stairs, back toward the crumbling temple, where the heroes roared. Yusei burst through the crypt door into the shattered nave. Valdemar's green fire had scorched the marble, but the 12 souls still blazed.
Aldrich, Ilara, Orin, give me everything you have left. I'll forge a cage even death can't escape.
It was always yours, boy. Take it.
12 ghostly streams of light poured into him. Yusei's body screamed, but he channeled the torrent into an ancient seal.
Seal of confession. This bond will be my living soul, and your tomb, Valdemar.
Valdemar snarled, raising his staff to shatter the forming chains, but Ilara's arrow pinned his wrist.
You would bind your soul to my prison? Madness. You'll perish with me.
Then we'll be eternal cellmates. I've already died once for this.
Purple chains erupted from Yusei's chest, wrapping Valdemar's limbs, linking them. The temple shook as the pact took hold. The sealing had begun. If Valdemar ever broke free, Yusei's spirit would shatter with him. There was no turning back. The chains tightened with a shriek, slamming Valdemar's lich body against the altar. Purple fire licked his bones.
Wait, Yusei. Imagine the power we could share. Two immortals ruling the world. Release me, and I'll teach you.
I've already burned for your lies. This isn't about power. It's about confession.
Yusei drove his palm forward, and the seal pulsed. Valdemar screamed, but the 12 spirits added their final light. Ealdric's form blazed white-hot. For the pact, he hurled his spirit into the chains. Ilara's arrow and Orin's staff blazed like twin suns, pouring the last of their essence into the chains. The temple groaned. The ceiling split open, and dawn's first rays spilled onto the scene. Light the high priest had not seen in centuries. Valdemar, pinned, shrieked as the sunlight hit his true form, but the chains held fast. His cathedral had become his tomb. The 12 heroes began to fade, their mission complete. A faint hand, Aldrich's, rested on Yusei's shoulder. Before vanishing, Yusei dropped to one knee, the bond searing his chest, exhausted, but alive. The cataclysm was over. The priests, who had not fled, slowly rose from the debris. One by one, they bent their knees not to the altar, but to the exhausted necromancer.
Forgive us. We were blind servants of a monster. You saved this city.
I didn't do it for forgiveness. But remember what the heroes showed you here.
The temple doors swung open. Royal guards in silver filed in, and behind them strode the regent of the kingdom. Scroll in hand, by order of the crown, the persecution of necromancy is ended. The Holy Church shall be reformed under new guidance. Signed, Regent Lysandra. A herald's voice carried across the square. The crowd, once baying for Yusei's blood, fell silent, then broke into stunned murmurs.
I want no titles, but raise a monument for the 12 who gave their souls for this truth. Let their names never be forgotten.
I will see it done. As the new archpriest, if the people will have me, I swear to honor the heroes' pact.
Within the hour, the first stone of the hero's memorial was laid in the cemetery where it all began. Yusei stood at the temple steps, watching the sunrise over a kingdom that would never hunt his kind again. The 12 spirits gathered one last time, their light already thinning like morning mist.
You freed us, boy. Let our names live on.
I'll make sure of it.
Ilara's bow faded to mist as she gave a short, sharp nod, a warrior's farewell.
You carry the pact now. Protect the balance.
One by one, the other 9 dissolved into the sunrise, silent salutes burning into memory. Yusei opened his eyes to an empty dawn. Only the violet seal on his chest remained, pulsing like a second heartbeat.
So this is the price. But if Valdemar ever stirs, I'll know.
He rose and walked away from the temple steps, the first necromancer to stride freely under the sun. The sun climbed higher, and a new chapter began for him and for the kingdom he had changed. Yusei walked through the city, his shadow long in the morning light. No one blocked his path. Shopkeepers who once shouted "Necromancer" now stared in silence. Children pointed, but no stones flew. He climbed the hill east of town, to the old oak overlooking the rooftops, and the church spire. From his pocket, he drew the small skull token, his mother's gift before the soldiers took her. Now it pulsed violet, matching the seal beneath his robe.
I promised you I'd survive. I didn't know it would mean tearing a kingdom apart, but I'll use this power to protect, not destroy. The dead will be honored, not raised as weapons.
He pressed the token to his lips, then to his chest where the mark burned. The wind stirred, and for a heartbeat, He felt a familiar warmth, a mother's pride. He opened his eyes to a kingdom bathed in gold, and a path no one had walked before. Weeks later, the marketplace had a new stall. Necromancy primers, bound in violet, sold openly next to healing scrolls. In the square where the pyre once burned, a statue of the 12 heroes now stood, their names etched in marble. Brother Tobias, now in white and gold, addressed the reformed congregation. His first sermon as archpriest. On the hill under the old oak, Yusei sat with a dozen students. Born necromancers, no longer in hiding.
The dead can rest now. And the living. We're finally allowed to learn from them.
The memorial became a pilgrimage site. Flowers and letters piled at its base, many addressed simply, to the 12, with gratitude. Tobias opened the temple's crypt as a sanctuary for those seeking counsel with the dead, under strict ethical rites.
You'd be proud, Mother. We're not just surviving now. We're building.
The kingdom stood transformed, its fear replaced by a fragile, honest curiosity. And at its center, a necromancer who had once burned now taught, guarded, and hoped. At dusk, Yusei returned to the hero cemetery. The graves, once barren, now bloomed with fresh flowers and handwritten notes.
You 12 changed everything. I hope you can see this from wherever you are.
He knelt at the central altar and placed the small skull token upon it. The violet pulse dimmed to a gentle glow.
This belonged to the woman who taught me necromancy. Wasn't evil. It belongs here now.
He rose and turned toward the gate. The cemetery was silent, save for the rustle of leaves. A ghostly warmth settled on his shoulder. Aldrich's hand, or perhaps all 12 at once. No words came, only a feeling of pride, and a final, gentle push forward.
I'll keep walking, for all of you.
He walked out of the graveyard and did not look back. The sun set behind him, painting the sky violet and gold. The first necromancer, no longer a fugitive, walked into a world he had remade, alone, yet never truly alone. A memory surfaced. A cramped room, a single candle. Necromancy is not evil, you say. It's how we honor the dead, his mother whispered. She placed the small skull token in his hand. Keep this. Let it remind you that the dead are still with us. Now, on the hill where he'd once wept, Yusei sat before a dozen young necromancers.
The dead are not our servants. They are our teachers.
A girl cupped a wilted rose. Violet light blossomed, and for a breath, it was whole again. The students gasped, then smiled. Yusei watched them, a quiet pride stirring in his chest.
This is what she meant. Not power, but connection.
He looked at his own hand, where the token once rested, now on the altar below. The past and present merged, a legacy no flame could erase. He rose, ready to walk into the sunset. The path ahead was still long. He reached the cliff's edge where the kingdom sprawled below, bathed in the last light of day. The wind pulled at his robe. He stood motionless, a lone figure between sky and stone. The violet seal on his chest pulsed once, a heartbeat not his own.
I can feel it. Valdemar stirs in his chains, but the seal holds. I am the lock now. The line between the living and the dead.
He lifted his face to the fading sun. A single tear slid down his cheek.
We did it, Mother. I kept my promise.
No answer came, but the wind seemed to carry a familiar warmth. He turned his back to the sunset and began walking into the deepening twilight. The guardian of the balance vanished into the night, but the light of his legacy remained.